So now I'm licensed in all over Johnson County to build houses, pull all the permits and whatnot. It's just a difficult test a lot of guys don't take because 5 weeks of studying is just, it requires you to carry all of the licenses, insurances. So now there's no fudging. You know, before where you can kind of slip under the radar and you're not paying all the taxes, the licenses, the insurances. You know, it kind of separates the guys who are just kind of remodelers, how people know that it's a little bit more legit, you know, because I'm not just going to pack up and leave. People can call the county and find out about me. They can get my number. They can, you know, I'm traced. I'm just being held to higher standards. A lot of those guys, well, what they'll do when they're not a general contractor, how they get around it is that they go to the homeowner and they ask the homeowner to pull the permit, because the homeowner can pull a permit on their own home. And so now all of that falls back on the homeowner, but then the contractor's doing the work. Not very professional, you know, when all of that responsibility should be put on the contractor, because that's what the permit's for, is that, you know, a year down the road, if there's something wrong with that house, they can go back and they see who pulled the permits on that work and they hold that company responsible. But if the contractor's having the homeowner do it, then the permit's pulled under the homeowner, the contractor's gone. So it's kind of just, it's not a very professional way of doing it. So now if I'm gonna go build a house, I just go build a house, I pull all the permits. And usually if somebody wants a house built, they're not going to pull permits for a room addition. They're not going to pull permits to build a house. So for me, what it's going to do is just make all these bigger jobs open up. But a lot of times if somebody's doing a smaller deck, patio kind of thing, they'll pull those a homeowner would pull that permit for themselves. So I guess if you just let homeowners know that I'm a licensed general contractor, I am somebody that will be pulling the permits. If a homeowner is being asked to pull permits, there's a reason why that contractor cannot pull that permit. They haven't taken the proper steps for some reason to do that. They haven't been doing it long enough. They're not fully committed. They don't want to pay, you know, I don't know.
Right.
They don't want to be tracked. A lot of guys have different reasons for not fully committing to that. Because with that responsibility, you have to charge enough. Some of these guys are just charging a little, you know, they're not, you got the tools in the truck, but by talking to you and watching you, I don't know if you've been doing it very long. But looking at him and looking at me, a homeowner's not going to be able to tell the difference. So sometimes these things give a homeowner an obvious red flag before this guy gets in your house and just starts tearing things up. You know, I'm remodeling a $100,000 home right now in Liberty. Everything we're fixing is because permits weren't pulled when this house was built, and it's not breathing properly. The roof doesn't breathe properly, so it caused mold in the basement, caused a bunch of dry rot on these 14 windows that are about $600 each, caused settling in the stucco. So when people do room additions, this building needs to breathe the same as this building. So when they put a roof over both of them, if it's not vented here and here properly, these things the foundation's not done properly, tied in, they move differently. You want them to function the same, breathe the same. If they don't, you have crack, break, cold, heat, mildew, air conditioning condensers, overworking, burning out. And somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, they're just slapping something on here, and it looks fine. And it'll look good for a year or two. And then starting a couple of years, all your trims cracking, your floors are cracking. And at the end of the day, the homeowner's just like, no, it looks good. But the inspector will know that, and a lot of times people will try to talk, guys who can't pull permits will try to talk homeowners out of pulling permits. And it happens a lot. You know, hey, no, we don't need to pull permits on it. It's not that important. How does a homeowner know it's not important? How does this guy know it's not important? He probably doesn't even, he may not know. I pull the permits to take the responsibility off of me because I do care about the final project. So really, if you're doing it right, it's the same amount of work to do it right as it is to do it wrong.